2 weeks ago, my phone went ballistic, right? Every alert yelling HBAR just lit the afterburners. And I kind of laughed, I finished my espresso, then blinked at the chart. 92% up in a single month. Now that was not a typo. It was like spotting a Ferrari parked in the bike lane. But here is the kicker. Hardly anyone on my feed had noticed. Right, Bitcoin kind of stole the limelight by flirting with $120,000. Yet this quiet hashgraph kid was doing cartwheels backstage. Now you know me. I love an underdog story with a twist of tech wizardry. So I started poking around. So the first clue was that two asset management titans, BlackRock and Fidelity, just plopped shiny representative tokens onto the Hedera network. So let's think of it as Wall Street's version of scribbling "I was here" on the blockchain wall, except the graffiti is worth billions. Now that tiny change actually sent a chill up my arm. When blue chip suits move, smaller fish take notes. But Wall Street isn't the only force in play. Let's zoom out to Washington, where the brand new Genius Act kind of whistled through Congress 5 days ago. Now, it kind of gives stablecoins the green light and basically says, let's stop arguing, build stuff. Right, now that's kind of policy, or that policy kind of tailwind, set a kind of springboard under anything remotely enterprise friendly, and Hedera fits that bill like a tailored jacket. But let's get back to the chart. Right, we smashed through old ceilings at kind of 17.6 cents and 20 cents so cleanly that they flipped into new floorboards. Right now, we're kind of chilling at around 25 cents at a point of recording, and daily volume, well, that's a hair under $850 million, up 13% overnight, by the way. Now, those numbers, they don't just pop by magic, of course, right? They appear when whales stir. Now, wallet trackers show addresses holding 1 to 10 million HBAR have been stacking quietly since October, while the fact cat kind of 10 million plus wallets, they haven't sold a single crumb. Now that's kind of like watching stadium floodlights flick on one section at a time until the whole pitch glows. Now the trouble is, hype alone can't keep a rocket afloat, right? So I wanted proof beyond just the headlines, so I fired up Kraken Pro, and yes, the affiliate link in the description, right? So when you use it, the channel here gets a tiny kickback that helps keep the midnight research sessions caffeinated. Now, Kraken Pro and their depth chart kind of showed bids stacked thicker than shawarma meat on a Friday night in Dubai. Sellers, they look like thin crust on the top. Now, if you're scratching your head thinking, why should I care whether HBAR has 54 cents or even a buck, right? Let me kind of paint you a little scene here, right? Imagine that you bought coffee can shares of, let's say, Netflix back when it mailed DVDs. One day, the CEO says, we're streaming movies, and the stock twitches. Years later, people call that twitch the obvious tell. Institutional tokens on Hedera feel like that kind of tell. Very early, easy to shrug off, yet possibly historic. And then there's Steph is Crypto, the analyst with a kind of knack for deja vu charts. Now he lined up today's 2-week stochastic RSI against the wicked 850% up, or at least run up, of 2021. Now, the curves rhyme so hard that you'd think that they were recorded in the very same studio. Now his stretch goal here is $1.09 within a month. That's pretty bold, right? But not bonkers when you factor in network velocity and fresh regulation. Still, every kind of rally masks some potholes, right? And Hashgraph's tech is pretty quick, fair, and energy lean. Yet crypto has a memory like an elephant on espresso. Any slip, any exploit, and sentiment turns faster than desert sand in a windstorm, and that is why I lean on the community chatter. Now, our free educational Discord server, linked down below by the way, has devs dissecting Hedera's consensus models nightly. So if you crave geek level talk without any of the Telegram spam, pull up a chair. Now, this one might shock you though, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your own responsibility and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right? That's the kind of pep talk delivered. Let's get the seatbelts back on and let's tackle the number one worry. Isn't HBAR already overheated? Short answer, maybe, but context matters. During the prior bull, Hedera topped out at 57.01 cents. We're still below half of that. Meanwhile, of course, Bitcoin is printing higher highs and the alt season baton traditionally passes 3 to 6 weeks after Bitcoin spikes. So I guess the clock really is ticking. Then there's network effect. SaucerSwap, Hedera's homegrown DEX, clocked $120 million in 7-day volume this week, up from SOFR change levels just a year ago. More liquidity equals less slippage equals cheaper entries for the next batch of traders. It's actually kind of like widening a highway right before holiday traffic. Everything just moves faster. And so, picture this. August 15th, HBAR tags 54 cents, kisses the old resistance and traders everywhere hold their breath. The chart hesitates, dramatic pause, right? A whale steps in, market buys a cool 25 million tokens, and the screen flashes green candles taller than the Burj Khalifa. Suddenly, the old high crumbles like week-old croissants. New game, new headlines. Could it flop? Sure could, right? Everything is possible. Maybe the Genius Act faces a court delay, or maybe Bitcoin double tops and slides, yanking liquidity out. That's kind of why smart folk scale in. They set alerts and keep cash on standby instead of betting rent money. So here is a quick confession. I almost skipped HBAR entirely last year, right? I figured governance council of big companies sounds too corporate for crypto. Then a buddy called me out. He said, dude, you cheer Ripple for, courting banks, but hate Hedera for courting enterprises? Touché. Contradictions like that push us to learn, right? So let me share a small ritual then, right? Whenever an alt pumps hard, I make tea. I mute streaming app noise, and I read 50 pages of project docs, right? If by page 50 my eyes glaze, I pass. Hedera's docs had me kind of nodding the whole time, tracing how gossip about gossip reaches consensus in mere seconds. It kind of felt less like homework and more like stumbling upon secret blueprints. And the best part, transaction fees average fractions of a cent. That's pocket change, even airdrops, wouldn't bother stealing, right? Compare that with chains where a single swap costs more than Friday's pizza. Suddenly, Hedera's pitch isn't just speed, it's thrift. But let's not sugarcoat anything here. Governance is both a strength and a debate magnet, right? 39 council seats rotating every few years, each held by global giants from Boeing to Google. Now, some call it decentralized, skeptics call it boardroom. I call it insurance, right? If a bug surfaces, there are contract numbers, not anonymous tags. But let's get back to the price action. For those whale wallets, addresses over 10 million coins, are notorious for early sensing, right? They begin averaging in around 10 cents last winter, right? And they haven't blinked during any of the sell-offs. So it reminds me of surfers paddling, way before the wave. By the time that the casual swimmers notice, the pros are already screaming down the face. And if that's not enough, here's an analogy, right? Imagine a high school dance. Bitcoin is the DJ, altcoins are the dancers. When the DJ spins a banger, the floors light up. Right now, the DJ just cranked the volume. HBAR is the kid pulling off breakdance moves that nobody saw coming, and the crowd is forming a circle. But we should talk about the risk management tips. Ladder sells, right? If Steph's $1.09 projection hits, maybe peel off 30%, right? Keep house tokens riding maybe, right? If we retrace to new support at 20 cents, well, you still sleep at night, right? Emotional trading kills more gains than bear markets ever could. Oh, and remember, Kraken Pro? Well, I've set price alerts at 54 cents, 75 cents, and $1. That way that my phone kind of becomes less gambling app and more tour guide, right? Again, the affiliate link is in the description. It supports the show here and gets you free discount goodies. It's kind of like a win-win. Okay, let's go ahead and land this plane. HBAR has moonshot chatter, yes, but it also has sober fundamentals, right? Industrial kind of backers and predictable fees. And now, friendly law. So if momentum does indeed hold, a new all-time high isn't actually that crazy. If momentum breaks, well, congrats. You learned a priceless lesson for the less than maybe a cost of a concert ticket, right? It's very important. So what's next? Me? Well, I'm going to be hanging out in the Discord, right? Chat window on one screen, espresso in the other, waiting to see if Hedera prints history and hands us a plot twist. Either way, that's a good story. For now, though, you can smash that subscribe button, and if you want, you can check out the video that's queuing up on the screen right there.